more than 30 years, we've been looking after the property needs of everyday Kiwis. Our business is based upon strong values, the importance of friendships, being committed to family, hard work, discipline, and working with people you know. Our commitment to people beyond the cities has served us proud. We're the people provincial New Zealanders feel at home with. With over 40 offices across this land, we have a bold vision for growth. Our brand tells our story. It will take us to new locations and offer bold new areas of opportunity. All across New Zealand, people will know what we stand for.
You thought that was going to be the brand launch, didn't you? That's coming. It's going to be awesome. You're just going to have to wait a little bit. Welcome to a great day at Property Brokers. New brand, new venue, new speakers, longer breaks, and hopefully a much better lunch than we've had the last 10 years at the racecourse. I'm sure you'll be the judge of that. You will, of course, receive a Net Promoter Score survey request in a day or two, and I'm really hoping you'll rate this a 10 out of 10. We're going to start this on a more sombre note though. Last week we lost a valued member of our Property Brokers family, Megan Nation. Many of you attended her funeral in Havelock North on Monday, and for those of you who couldn't be there, Paul Williker will share some memories of Megan. Paul.
Hi team and fellow members of the Property Brokers family. Last week we lost one of our own, Megan Nation, to a tragic car accident in Hawke's Bay. She was only 43. Before I tell you a little bit about Megan, I'd just like you all to stand for a moment of silence, please. So if you could just stand. Thank you. Thank you. So guys, when I was told by our Hastings sales manager 2 years ago that we had another nation joining the team, I must say I was a bit worried. Because for those of you that know Wayne, who's been with the company 12 years, you'll know he's a bit of a larrikin, a comedian, hopeless with paperwork, forgetful, and often trouble. But I needn't have been worried. Megan was a kind, vivacious, fun-loving and smart woman who oozed everything we're trying to achieve with our true team. She had a nickname at Property Brokers, the Pink Lady, because everything had to be pink. In fact, if she'd have been trying to get a new brand for Property Brokers, that would have been pink as well. Her pens, her folders, her stationery, and of course her high heels. She was also the Imelda Marcus of Property Brokers, with a new pair of heels arriving at the office nearly every week. She could also have a good laugh, and I know she's getting some of her own back, because as Win, the forgetful one himself, went to Thailand for 2 weeks, and on his return, found in the flat next to the house that he'd left the bath taps on, and flooded the entire flat. So I'm sure she's up there smiling herself, and seeing the boys clean it all up without her. She was a team player, very selfless, and I can just hear her now saying, Paul, that's all well and good, but get on with it. As it was never about her. So Property Brokers we will. So guys, please take the best ideas that you get today, implement them into your business, go for your goals, life's short, and make every day a winner. Rest in peace, Megan. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Most important matters first. This bracelet has been handed in. It's found in the ladies' toilets. It's in my pocket. It's not quite my style, so if it's yours, see me during one of the breaks. And now on with the program, starting of course with health and safety. As some of you know, I'm a regular flyer, and I have to really concentrate at this point because I had a problem on a Monday morning when I get on that plane in Auckland to fly down. They start the safety announcement and I'm usually asleep by the end of it. None of you are going to do that today, and I'm going to be really focused. The exits are really well signposted. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please follow the directions of your crew. They know what to do. Or you could just leave the building in an orderly manner. Floor lighting will not show you the way, so common sense will have to prevail. There are no life jackets under the seats, not even for you guys in business class. The assembly point is out in the car park on both sides, and we have to do a count up once you're there, so don't leave. The loos are at the opposite end of the conference centre, both upstairs and downstairs. Phones, now you really have to pay attention to this point, phones must be switched to flight mode. Okay, silent mode then, or better still, off. A ringing phone will cost you $1,000, and Tim will personally collect it. Social media. You're going to be introduced to our new brand today, but it doesn't go public until the 1st of August. So no photos of our new brand or logo on social media or shared in any other way outside this building. I'll just repeat that again, just in case you missed it. No photos of our new brand or logo on social media or shared in any other way outside this building. $1,000 fine again, Tim, you think?
Absolutely.
Speakers. We've got a great lineup of speakers today. We really need you to keep to time. If you see me standing up, it's getting into injury time. If you see me standing at the corner of the stage, it means it really is injury time. Property management breakout. As you came up the stairs, just at the start of the stairs, there was a room off to one side. That's where the property management team will go for their breakout session later today. Sponsors. Today's event is made even better by the generous support of sponsors, all of whom are much valued business partners. Moving House, Kevin Bill's Photography, Property Suite, realestate.co.nz, Spark, Office Max, NZX Agri, Stuff, Mark Brimbleton Photographer, Advantage, Wanganui Chronicle, Wairarapa Times Age, IDS, Hawke's Bay Today, River City Press, Hazard Co, Rico, Mercer Marsh, MediaWorks. Special thanks to One Roof for sponsoring our pre-dinner drinks tonight, and Property Press for the wine on the tables at dinner. You guys know us too well. Let's thank the sponsors. Where are the goodie bags, you may ask? Just be patient. They're branded, of course, so you don't get to receive them or your program for today without a story. And who better to tell that story than our hero who leaps over tall buildings in a single bound, who can sell ice blocks to Eskimos, who can always wring just a few more dollars out of any deal, who is a life member of Ryan's, has been awarded the New Zealand Order of Merit for services to the community, and is the founder and sole director of Property Brokers. Let's give a thunderous welcome to the one and only Tim Morton.
Oh, God. Righto, good morning. Welcome. New brand. New brand refreshes us. New brand makes us do an audit on the company. New brand makes us think, who are we? What are we doing? New brand challenges us. This is the 4th time we've done this. It was really interesting in 1986 when we started. We had an option to buy 2 companies in Palmerston North, Michael Gray Real Estate or Kelly Garland Real Estate. And Kelly Garland Real Estate had about 1/3 of the market. Michael Gray had about 2. But Michael Gray had the land and buildings where we sit today. And I couldn't understand, why would you buy Kelly Garland Real Estate? What would you do with it? Well, the staff might just leave you tomorrow. Who the hell's Kelly Garland? What do you do with it? And in those days, everybody in town was Colin Cook Real Estate, Michael Gray Real Estate, JP Morgan, and even now today, Hastings McLeod, Bartlett and Thompson, Mike Pero. It didn't seem to make sense to me. So we were the first company, I think, Property Brokers being a generic name that said what we did. And it seemed so much more logical. If you're going to spend a lot of money building a brand, why would you want to personalise it? It just limits it, doesn't it? So that's where Property Brokers came from. We were in a town with a whole lot of licensees' names, and Mordenton Co didn't seem to ring a bell for me. Now, let me get myself organised here. So we've been having a look at our brand. We selected Voice, who are here today. We had a few people pitch for us, but we like Voice. They turned out to be bloody good bastards, but I wouldn't tell them that to their face. I always give them a hard time. But it's been quite a journey, and it has made us do a lot of navel gazing. We did an in-depth survey with you people, with our management team, with our suppliers, with our customers. Spent a lot of time finding out what do people think when they hear the word Property Brokers. What do they think of us? Who are we? It's, yeah. So the feedback was really great. It was very constructive and generally overwhelmingly positive. We felt really good about it. So our current logo was designed by Paula Dashwood in 1986. First of all, we united Realty to 1991. Then we rebranded in 1991 with a little square handshake. That's where the handshake came from, done by a little fellow out in Woodville. And then we went to this brand here in about 96. And we've tweaked it and we've mucked about with it and we've done things, but it's getting pretty limited now. You know, like in the days, 1996, when you think about it, when we did it, it was all newspaper TV and that's where we spent the money. But now it's Google and it's Facebook and it's Instagram, and you can't see our little logo when you're getting on an iPhone. So we've got a bit limited, it needs to change. You know, the other thing, you know, when you do a bit of an audit, it's much more than just the brand. You think we're just going to show you a new logo, but it's actually not about that. It's about what it means, who we are, how we feel, how we look after each other, what do the customers think, what do we do in our offices. It's all about the way we act as well. What are our values, our promise, our people, and business? Brand is all about those things. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you a video now and it will introduce the logo to you. What's going to happen here is I'm going to show you the logo, then I'm going to talk about Property Brokers a bit, and John's going to talk about how he designed it and how we got there, and then Tony's going to talk about how we're going to roll it out. So you ready for this?
Yeah.
For more than 30 years, we've been looking after the property needs of everyday Kiwis. Our business is based upon strong values, the importance of friendships, being committed to family, hard work, discipline, and working with people you know. Our commitment to people beyond the cities has served us proud. We're the people provincial New Zealanders feel at home with. With over 40 offices across this land, we have a bold vision for growth. Our brand tells our story. It will take us to new locations and offer bold new areas of opportunity. All across New Zealand, people will know what we stand for. We're about local knowledge, combined with a passion for market-leading expertise. We help reach people in exciting new ways. We offer the honesty of doing business on a handshake. This happens with you. It happens through our values, our true team promise, and our commitment to helping Kiwi families get the most out of provincial life.
At Property Brokers, our true team promise, I genuinely believe, sets us apart from the rest.
When we shake your hand, we mean it. We value our clients and each other. We do the little things that make a difference, and we are passionate about communities and we want to see them thrive.
The Property Brokers brand. It's our most valuable asset. We have to be recognisable. It's part of the evolution of the company. It sets us up for the next 10 or 15 years. And I love the fact that the brand is internal. It's about how we feel. It's about who we are. We've got a really good formula if we stick to it, and if everyone believes in it.
It's time to signal a new era. Today, we celebrate what we have and where we are, and we begin to look forward to a bigger future.
John and I will talk about how we arrived at the logo. I'm chuffed with it. We wanted it to be simple. We haven't lost our identity. We wanted to have linkage to the past. I like the B because it's like a Nike tick. It'll become instantly recognisable. And on digital media, you need something that they just know it's Property Brokers. Creates a strong framework for us, which is special. We need to be clear and relevant to our companies. We need to position our company for the future. So, what's special about us? What's special about Property Brokers? What do people like about us? What's our point of difference? Right from the start, it's been about relationships for me, and I think for most people in the Property Brokers family. Relationships between us, relationships between our clients and our customers. We are a family and we do have family values. A goal. I've always been a little bit of a goal setter. I remember when I set a goal when I first started. I wanted to sell $100 million worth of real estate. I went for it. And I always think it's good to have a goal. So, I think we should set a new goal. Great time that we have this conference because our financial year finishes on the 30th of June and we start the new year on the 1st of July. What are we going to sell in the next 12 months? Our family's grown now, 600 strong, with 40 plus branches, 6 big targets. So we want a goal that we're going to do. That's what we're going to do next year. 2 billion in sales next year. Just imagine how it will impact on everybody in this room. We can do that. We did 1.6 this year. So I think it's good to have a goal. That's what a goal is. Property Brokers has an opportunity to lead, to grow strongly in our marketplace and our cities. We are number one in most of the areas that so we make a difference. And the lead comes from our heart, from who we are, the character of the people. So being clear about what Property Brokers stands for can inspire a market, win the hearts and minds, and people want to be part of us. They want to join with us. They want to be able to trust us. We can look after them. So what's our purpose? You've got to have a purpose. And we're going to use these in our marketing. So a lot of what you're going to see here now is the way we're going to take this forward with our brand campaigns and what we do. But we think that to be the trusted face of property for New Zealand in every community that we do business is something that we should be. People should be able to rely on us. Know that we're going to do the right thing. Know that we're not in for this deal, we're in for the next deal. They know that we pay our suppliers on time. You guys know we pay you on time. There's a lot of integrity and credibility in our organisation that we look after. So we think that's pretty aspirational. The old value, if we say we do it, we do, is part of our DNA, isn't it? Somebody rings me up and says, "Son, this guy says he's going to do this and he didn't do it." Then we do it. We might talk about it afterwards, but we do it. So our people have character. You have character. Company has character. Our brand has character. No one lets the team down. One person lets you down, they let everyone down. The world is changing. We all know that. I mean, particularly digitally and all that. But, and we're going into an area where people don't know us. We're attracting new recruits who don't know us. It's been really challenging for us in the head office with people that join us from out of our region that don't really know property brokers. So you get people that come from other companies and they come into our office and they've got property brokers over the door. Do they understand us? Do they know what we stand for? Do they just think we're just another real estate company and it's all about the money? So getting new people that join us to understand that we have something special is a real challenge, particularly out of our geographic area. But the people that do join us must understand that they have to play by our rules. The old book, I had a great debate with Buddy Susie over the breakfast table this morning. Because I read that book about the All Blacks, and no dickheads in the property brokers. She said, "You can't say that." She said, you've got to say no losers. Well, I said, "I'd rather have losers, but I won't be dickheads." And there aren't any other, because you guys weed the garden. You get a tosser come and start really gallivanting into our company that doesn't fit in with our values. They don't last, do they? We just run them out, because we're better than that. Okay, everyone's got to keep the bar up, look after what we've got, which is very, very, very special. Okay, we get challenged every now and then, and sometimes people will think that we've lost the plot a bit, but we always get it right in the end. And everybody in the room needs to make sure that we do, and we look after it. We don't have to. Marketplace is evolving, new trends, new technology, new competition. You know that? But we need to continue to differentiate ourselves. We are different, and we need to build on our strengths. We need to continue to grow. You're either going forward or backwards. You have to grow. You can't wheel the wagon. As soon as you wheel the wagon, try to hold on to what you've got. Exactly the same in sales. As soon as you try and do that, you're buggered, because you'll go down the Google. You've got to keep growing, opening your door, and not trying to shore up things. Be risky. Get stimulated. Do stuff. Keep our values and our teamwork to the fore. So refreshing the brand's about refreshing ourselves, our soul, spreading the word, building our reputation, and ensuring we've got a rock solid foundation and we're not building on sand. We're not changing who we are. That's absolutely it. Let's take that as a given. But we're trying to keep our brand relevant, modern, keeping up with the changes, and ensuring people see us as one they prefer to trust. This is the way we've sort of got to where we are now. To grow a truly national, full-service real estate brand, New Zealand is proud to call our own, one community at a time. We are ambitious. We're ambitious for everybody in this company, ambitious for the brand. Our drive is to get better. We're always focused on that. Some people say, you guys are never satisfied, you're always trying to grow and do stuff, and we are. So that's good, I think. Opening new doors. We look to work smarter, stay closer and tighter. We want to develop and grow with like-minded people who believe in what we're trying to do. We want to be part of our family, look after the family. For property brokers to thrive, I know everybody has to thrive. The only way this company grows is if you guys grow. Simple. So what's our brand about? It's dynamic, it's always growing, it's always looking. We open doors, we create opportunities, we're positive, and we're enthusiastic. I'm going to share some statements with you that I think will personify our brand that we'll utilise going forward. Always stronger, always true. John and I will talk about this a bit, but our business is built on time-proven principles of loyalty. Loyalty is so important. Honesty and genuine relationships. Really strong relationships. I really value the relationships I have with people in this room. It's very special and it's very personal. and it's awesome. Johnny came up with this, or the voice guys came up with this, which I think is very, very good for us. No other company in New Zealand can say this. We're nationally provincial. It's who Property Brokers is. We're the people our customers feel at home with. It's our patch. We work hard to keep it, to help it thrive. Our local relevance is our secret asset, I think. No competitor that we have can claim that space. Now, everybody in this room is the most important asset of our company. You're the brand. I'm the brand. We're all the brand. We're successful because of your belief, your passion, and your character. You carry the company brand every day with everyone you talk to. Everybody's relationship about how they feel about Property Brokers comes from their interaction with you. Everybody in this room. And I'm absolutely proud of the character and the type of people we have, because I know that you're doing it really, really well. The commitment to the family values that you all aspire to makes a huge difference to us as a place of work. People think we're mad that we've got an office in every provincial town in New Zealand. Well, how do you do that? You go to buddy Mike Pero and you go and work from home and have a computer and do it at 2%. But in actual fact, most people want to belong to something. They want something they can believe in. They want someone's going to look after them when times aren't so good. Everyone can be a fair weather sailor. What do you do when times aren't so good? This company will look after you. I think most people know that. It's not about the money. Good people do good business. Money's a result of doing good business every time. Now I want to share with you, we're going to do something for you, and we've got a bit of a gimmick for you, and I thought I'll do it now. As from the 1st of July, we're going to insure everybody in this room for $100,000 life insurance. Everybody? As long as you're under 70. And as long as you're not hard dead. But where's Leonard McLaughlin? Where are you, Leonard?
Just here.
Okay, Leonard's here, so he's from Marsh, okay? So he's going to, when you get your packs, you'll see the details of it. But that Marsh came to us and said, they're giving us a deal, we'll cover everybody in the company that's working for the company. If you leave the company, you lose $100,000, so obviously you do. But we just thought it was a really, really good thing to do. And if you want to increase it, you can talk to Leonard, or you want to do stuff, but the details are in your pack. But, so you're all covered. Okay? Our values. You know, they do mean stuff, these. This isn't something you put in your drawer. This actually matters. And this is more important to me than the money. That everybody in this company believes in these things and know them. They're on every card that goes out, you'll know that. And why do we give it out? Not so much to tell the people what our values are, just to make sure you live up to them. No one lets us down. When we shake your hand, we mean it. We help and value our clients and each other. You have to like each other, you have to respect each other. We do the little things that make a difference. The clients remember the little things. I'll never remember the big things. They won't remember who sold their house, but they'll remember if you take them out for a ride in a special car because they love Audis, or they were moving in there and you arrived with pizzas and made sure they had a pizza. They'll remember the pizza more than they'll remember who sold the house. The little things really matter. You build your business, do the little things. And they're passionate about our communities and want to see it thrive. You've got to be in provincial New Zealand like we are. What we know, the more we give, the more we get. Everybody in this town, a lot of our towns know that we support them, and they support us. It's a partnership. I always used to say, you belong to bloody hookers or you belong to Harcourt, you send all the money off to Christchurch, you send it all off to Aussie. We don't. We put it back in our communities. And it works. We recruit people who believe in our values, we de-recruit those that don't. That's a ball breaker for the company. Vital to our culture and our business, they're on our business cards, we're all accountable. And of course then we've morphed into something even more important, which is a huge challenge for us. And this is the path we're going down big time. Our true team promise. We're telling all our people, when you work with us, you don't just have access to one agent, you'll have a team of equally committed salespeople, marketing experts and support staff, right across the country working to get you the best result. I love it when I hear people in our company saying, look, you're not getting me, you're getting the best team in town. The access you're going to get to our database of buyers, why would you want to listen to us? We are a true team, and we work as a team. That's absolutely awesome. True team promise. When it first came, the Boy Scouts said to us, look, you've got mixed messages here. We've got the promise on the wall at the company that we've got, and then we've got our values. And we hummed it hard over the whole thing. And basically what we've done is we've kept our values for the true team promise, but we've put our whole team works for you at the top. To simplify it, it's not confusing. Some of it's outward facing, some of it's inward facing. The true team is absolutely going to differentiate us. We can get our property management working with our residential working with our lifestyle, our commercial and compliance working as a true team, our commercial property management. We get these teams and these interfaces working. No one's going to be anywhere near us. Not about me, it's about we. We everything. Everybody can make money for everyone else in this room. The true team has got a huge potential for us. Really what works. Now we're going for time, mate. Now this other one. We saw that with Jared, that great shot of him in the video. Nothing beats working with people you trust. That's a tagline we can use, isn't it? Puts a bit of onus on us. We do everything we can for our customers every time they work with us. We want our customers to love working with us, to trust us, to be advocates for us and our brand. Really, really, really important. I like that. Our taglines. Well, This is Property Brokers Country has been, well, I don't know, I think from about 1994-ish. We came back with this. It came from the Marlboro Man. Remember the old Marlboro cigarette packets? This is Marlboro Country. I just thought that was a great idea. So we grabbed This is Property Brokers Country. What? It's true. Every time I start a radio ad, Tim Morton and Property Brokers Country. You put up a sign, this is Property Brokers Country. There's an ownership to it. But I do recognise that there is, if you're just coming into a new market, putting up this is Property Brokers Country is slightly arrogant. So we reckon we need 2 taglines, okay? So we're going to go into a new town tomorrow. What should we put on our signs? Pretty good? So if we open tomorrow and for tomorrow, Property Brokers, proud to be here. Okay? We've got 60% of the West Coast, it's Property Brokers Country. About 30% market share, guys, we'll let you have the other one. You like it?
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's real cool. That is worth more than anything else in this company. If someone was going to come and say, Tim, I want to buy a Property Broker brand, I wouldn't sell it to them for 50 mil. So look after it. And have a great day.
more than 30 years, we've been looking after the property needs of everyday Kiwis. Our business is based upon strong values, the importance of friendships, being committed to family, hard work, discipline, and working with people you know. Our commitment to people beyond the cities has served us proud. We're the people provincial New Zealanders feel at home with. With over 40 offices across this land, we have a bold vision for growth. Our brand tells our story. It will take us to new locations and offer bold new areas of opportunity. All across New Zealand, people will know what we stand for. We're about local knowledge, combined with a passion for market-leading expertise. We help reach people in exciting new ways. We offer the honesty of doing business on a handshake. This happens with you. It happens through our values, our true team promise, and our commitment to helping Kiwi families get the most out of provincial life.
At Property Brokers, our true team promise, I genuinely believe, sets us apart from the rest.
When we shake your hand, we mean it. We value our clients and each other. We do the little things that make a difference, and we are passionate about communities, and we want to see them thrive.
The Property Brokers brand. It's our most valuable asset. We have to be recognisable. It's part of the evolution of the company. It sets us up for the next 10 or 15 years. And I love the fact that the brand is internal. It's about how we feel. It's about who we are. We've got a really good formula if we stick to it, and not everyone believes in it.
It's time to signal a new era. Today, we celebrate what we have and where we are, and we begin to look forward to a bigger future.
Can I ask guys that you put them away just at the moment? You can have a look at them in June. But you just put it away, otherwise it's going to be a bit tough on the next speaker. So if you put them under your chairs, that's awesome. When we wanted to get an agency to help us with the brand, we had three pitch for us in the end, and we selected Voice. Voice comes from Auckland. They were recommended to us by Peter Thompson, and they had done Barfoot's rebranding. So they did understand real estate companies. They understand how important signage is, all the different areas that we use the brand in. So Jonathan, Neil and Mark have become quite good friends of ours. They've had an intense relationship with us. We've done this pretty quickly, really, in the last 3 months, and we said we were going to be able to launch it today, so I worked hard. And they are a brand agency, not an advertising agency. They specialise in brands, and they've become very good friends of ours, and we do respect them, and we're very grateful to them. So Jonathan, I invite Jonathan Seeger to come up on the stage and talk to us a little bit about how we got to where we got. So welcome, John.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Yes. Cool. I wanted to maybe talk a little bit today about our journey. It's been an interesting one, isn't it? It's got me all wound up now. Every now and again in your career you kind of meet your match. I've been doing this for a little while. Probably since I was 21, I'm 56. And every now and again you learn something. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about our experience working with property brokers. That one there, isn't it? Okay. So on the 19th of January, I just got back to work. I get this email popped in from the email bin from Tony Morden. At the end of the email, it kind of says, wow. And it goes, our company day takes place on the 21st of June with big great opportunity to show for what the brand on that. And I'm thinking, January, June, long time away. Be easy to walk in the park. So we began talking, had a natter, and then ended up beginning the process. So for the last 6 months, and I'd like to say, Tim keeps saying Jono, but there's a big team behind me, and there's a big team at Property Brokers. And I guess today I want to say thank you to both those teams for working really hard. It's been a lot of work, a lot of airplane trips, and a lot of talking, and we've got there. So let me share our journey in creating the Property Brokers brand. I guess as a brand agency, you work really hard in the area of trying to help companies understand who they are and what they do. When people say brand strategy and brand agency, lots of people say we do this work, but we specialise in that, and it's something that we believe in. It comes down to this idea really here, that things are changing so fast and so quickly. And I guess when Tim and Tony and the team look at the logo and go, it doesn't really work anymore, it's because things are changing. A lot of our work today in doing rebrands, we actually start from social media upwards. So what's the worst place your logo can look? How big is it when the Herald put it on their website? How tiny is it looking? We started that situation and worked back up because everything's flipped on its head these days. So it's all changing. You guys know that. You work every day in that. Your customers are changing. Information's changing. It's just different. Your industry is really crowded. There are lots and lots of people selling real estate, there are lots of companies. There are lots of people doing similar things to what you do. So when a punter comes along and wants to sell their house or buy a house, why should they choose you? Why should they believe you? What's special about you that other people can't claim? And that's the area we play in. It's really trying to make the adjustments so it can help you really be clear about what you offer. Because when you go to pitch to list someone's home or to lease someone's home, it's probably 2 other people doing the same thing. They've got a flash brochure, they've got a flash folder, they've got nice things to talk about. But what is it you can talk about besides yourself that will help, that actually makes a difference of why we should listen to you? And that's where brand comes in. This is a word that we work with a lot in our industry. It's a huge thing within brand, this idea of authenticity. You look at a lot of Kiwi brands, a lot of brands around the world, people claim to be authentic, but quite often they're not. And I guess that's why I say I've met my match with Property Brokers a little bit, because when you come into a company, you think, yeah, whatever, let's just talk. When you begin to really meet people and talk to people and hear how they feel from their soul, you start to think, well, maybe there is something incredibly special here. And I think as we've gone through this journey with Property Brokers, it's taught me things that I've changed how I do things and how we think about things. And I guess what we've done is we've actually been able to work with a brand that has some truly authentic foundations, and trying to translate those into a way that means something has been really interesting and something that we've really, really enjoyed. We did quite a bit of work initially talking to many of you about the brand and asking questions, what you thought, what you felt was special, what was important, and many people in this room have shared information with us. So we've got quite a good grasp. There were some very, very, very key things came out. Everyone said the same thing. And even at this point we're going, yeah, do we believe it? You know, because everyone's saying the same thing. Maybe you've all drank the same Kool-Aid or something of that nature. But as we began to talk to people, a really strong theme emerged. So when we began to start doing the work, we were playing with some very, very real things that really mattered. So when we do a brand strategy, we're trying to do, it's a very long process, but it's actually very simple in essence, and I'll share a little bit about what it means so you can understand why we've got to where we've got to. It really tries to find a position in the marketplace that you guys can own. It really seeks to magnify why you're different, why you're special, and why you're different to Joe Block down the road. Because when you rock in to sell a house, you're probably saying the same benefits in some respects, but what is the extra bit that you can talk about that may sway a customer to choose you? Your brand is not about you. Brand is not about you. Brand is what they say when you leave the room. Okay? So any brand, companies will say, oh, my brand, my brand, my brand. It's so not what you think, it's what they think. Because the brands are customer facing. When we work on a brand, I'll share with you how simple it is. We look to find three things. Let's flip the pointed thing. We look to see what's unique that you can deliver that nobody else can deliver. Or what can you do that XYZ company can't do? What is it they can't replicate, okay? And what is it that customers really, really want? If you find those three things out, in the middle is a spot. And that spot's the spot we go after. What you try to do in that spot is articulate why you're different. And great companies in this world have a spot, and they know they're different. I'll give you a couple of examples. You've probably heard these, but I'll talk about them. 3M have a very interesting spot. They make post-it pads, all right? Their spot in the middle, which they call their essence, is the idea of innovation. Every single thing they do is around innovation. So if someone brings an idea to the table, is it innovative, yes or no? Simple. Think of Hallmark greeting cards. I like this one too, this is a good one. They make birthday cards, Christmas cards, engagement cards, bereavement cards. Their special essence is caring shared. Birthday card, caring shared. Bereavement card, caring shared. Birthday card, caring shared. They're about caring and sharing. They're not about birthday cards. They're about caring and sharing. So what are you guys about? That was the hard bit, to try and figure out in all this wonderful stuff what you're really about. So this position that we found is this idea here. It looks really simple, and it should be simple, okay? Always stronger, always true. Well, one of the best things we've done for a long time, actually. What I like about it is always stronger means you'll always be the best. You'll always have the best product. You'll always do the best for your clients. You'll always do the things that you should do to do a great result. Always true is what Tim was talking about. You'll always be true. What I even like it better is it's always and always. So in always, you'll be stronger for your clients and customers, but always true to yourselves. So when we do this work, now and again we get something really, really good. And on this one here, we've got something quite special. So I think in bringing that idea to the table, we were really happy, and it began to help us feel how we could approach this whole thing. The second thing we worked with was trying to figure out, when we spoke to a lot of you, you talked about often you'd feel, in places where the brand was new, you'd feel a little bit second-best, or what you were offering. In the manual too, in the areas where you're strong, it was easy, everyone knew you. But in the new areas, it was different. You were trying to say, well, how, Bailey's are in there and so-and-so's in there. Why are we good, So we got to this idea of who your customer might be. How do you fit into New Zealand? And it was this idea here that property brokers' customers are people looking for a provincial way of life, regardless of where they live now. I live in Auckland, okay? I'm a property broker's customer. Your brand is relevant to an Aucklander, even though you're never going to be in the city, because we should buy here. At some point, I'm from Palmerston North, okay? I grew up here, went to school here. At some point, I'll probably come home, okay? So I'm your customer. So this was really important because then everyone was your customer, not just the areas where you are. And it actually elevates you to make you bigger and better than the rest. The third idea that's really important is this one here, a positioning idea, is that we're nationally provincial. You're a national brand, but you just work in the provinces. Like Tim's been saying, we can leave everyone else out Auckland, okay, but we'll just concentrate on the provinces. But this opens you up to be in every corner of provincial New Zealand and be national. So when we did this, it kind of changed how the brand felt to us. It was a national brand, it was a big brand, it was as good as the best in New Zealand. And we're the people you feel right at home with. So we're not a big faceless nothing, okay? We're that because we're excellent, but we're that because we're property brokers, which is all the wonderful heritage that everyone speaks about. So once we got that down pat, it was then time to start looking at the logo. When I first came on board and walked into Tim's office, she did tell me I was messing with his soul, and I kind of got the gravity of the situation, and we've had some good natters about this whole thing. In fact, when we worked on the logo, we were working in Auckland, and I was a bit nervous and asked Bill and Tony to come for a little look before I showed it to Tim. And Tim and Tony, I think, fly up and have a look. And I thought, we'll just go through it and get it all ready. Next thing I know, Tony says, Tim's coming. So we've got in the room and the three of us there, and I was quite nervous because I've been told about the gravity of the situation around the brand. But anyway, it worked out really well, and we got to a good place, and we kind of moved forward. So what I'll just show you is a little bit of the journey so you understand where we got to. So if this is your logo, when you start to kind of strip it to bits, it kind of loses a lot, and you think, how can I go forward? So often when we're branding, we don't chuck things out. We never chuck things out. So what can we keep? What can we move forward? What can we use to make sure we transition to this new thing? So you've got a handshake, you've got some words, you've got some colours, lots of things. And an interesting story, when we actually did the interviews, we asked people what colour property brokers were. Some people said blue, some people said red, some people said yellow, one person said green. So we got a lot of messages around it, but when you start stripping that back, what bits do we keep? Do we keep the handshake? Do we keep the flag? Do we keep the name, obviously? What do we keep? So we had to make decisions, what we transfer forward, what can we make work? How can we keep heritage? How can we create a new articulation that has meaning? So we chose to go forward, obviously the name, the colours are really important. The flag to me was an incredibly good device that was worth moving forward and could be actually quite fun. The handshake, should it be here or should it be somewhere else? So this is our kind of little sketch, is people like seeing this, but we're fiddling around what to do. How can we make things work? And you can start to see how the PB is coming through, the flag's coming through, and there's a few ideas floating around. How can we bring them together? So what we did was really, and this is my kind of best bit, is that we took the flag. The flag's a cool thing, it's something you have, it flies on your buildings, it's on your logo, and we've made a new brand flag. It's not Marquez flag, it's the Property Brokers brand flag. We then took the B, and we wanted to make a PB. And we worked really hard on the PB, and we had some good matters about this one as well. But we ended up with a device that's a PB, Property Brokers, and then it becomes the Property Brokers brand flag. This was really important. It was something that we wanted to give you, so it's quite useful in social media. It's quite useful with an identity. If given enough usage and time, it can become your Nike swoosh. So we've given you a brand flag, the new Property Brokers brand flag. If you say it's a brand flag, it is the brand flag. If you say it's a PB, it is a PB. And then we lock it up with the typeface Property Brokers. It's a soft typeface, it's a friendly typeface. It's not hard-edged. A lot of thought was given into how that should look. Should it be nice? What should it make you feel? So that was the whole idea, and the little flash of colour in the corner. So red and blue, yellow's still there, and you'll see on this open home signs and the signage, the yellow's still quite strong, but the essential brand is red and blue, and white. How do you bring this to life? That was a bit of a journey, and lots of chats and lots of matters, but we got there. So essentially now you have a very strong device you can use on buildings, and Tony will show you how things can work going forward, but a very strong way to use that. You'll see in the bag you've got there's some brochures and different things, but how clean and how crisp your collateral can come. It's still got the same feeling, it's still got the same messages, it's still got the same colours, but it's stronger, it's more modern, it's more dynamic. Business cards, clean, crisp, and business-like. I'm just showing you a little bit, there's more to come. So today it's really about us showing this to you. We got it's always a little bit hard at this point because we're giving it to you. Right now it doesn't mean a hell of a lot. It's just a red thing on a blue background, and it's ours. It's been sitting in our office for a few months, and we've got the poster. But I've done this a lot around the world over the years, and at this point you do hand it over. It is our baby. I guess it means a lot because we've got to know a fact. We've got to know that it means something. I can see Tim talking and know how much it means. And I guess it's taught me a few lessons. I've learned to do things differently. I've learned to listen. We had a conversation around values, and I was really pushing for a direction. And at one point, I got a call from Tony saying, Tim decided it should be this. And I'm going, you know what? Tim believes that. Why should I try and change that? Because he believes it and I'll make it happen. So I've learned a few things in the journey, which is a good thing. But today, it's what you make it. We're handing it over. It's up to you, to take all the goodness that Property Brokers has that we work with and see and put it in this new thing. It is powerful. I think, as I said at the beginning, now and again you meet your match. And I think in this one, it's one of those where I have met the match. I've learned stuff. I'm incredibly proud of the work that our team have done and that Tony's team's done and the Property Brokers team's done. It's been a lot of work and we've done it. So 21 June, we did it and we're here. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy it, I hope you love it, and I hope you take care of it. The next speaker, this is Tony Morland. This is a chap that over the last 6 months has always answered the phone happy and has always been polite. And some days I've called him 50 times, but here's Tony to tell you more.
Awesome, mate. So here we go, a shiny new era for property brokers. To get to where we are today has been a bit of a whirlwind. We came back, first meeting back from Christmas, we sat down in the office and we ticked off the rebrand. Since there, it's been flat out. We tended the process, we worked through the strategy, we developed the logo, and we went through all the things that need to change. At the moment, I have a list of things, it's about 300 long, that need to be updated, and that list grows by the day. As you've heard, trying to fit a rebrand into this schedule was always going to be a bit of a challenge. However, thanks to the guys at Voice, a committed management team, a dedicated marketing team, and the help of lots and lots of people in the audience, we're able to stand up here today and show you something we're all incredibly proud of. So our new brand differentiates us. It positions us in a space that none of our competitors can touch. It looks sleek and modern, but most importantly, it feels like us. I remember when I first saw the brand, as you guys are seeing today, I was like, oh, that's a bit different. But I've been working with the brand now for a couple of months and it feels good, it feels great, it feels like it's always been there, which I think is a fantastic sign. So we're launching the brand to you today. Next week we're down in the South Island and we're launching it to them, and the week after that we're at Admin Day. There's still quite a lot to go before we're ready to go out externally, so that date, as you've heard, we're aiming for is the 1st of August. The important thing to stress with this rollout is it's not going to be old brand one day and then boom, new brand the next. Because of our size, our complexity and our resources, it's going to be a gradual rollout process that could take us through to the end of the year, if not beyond. So many brands opt for this strategy. It won't do any detriment to our brand, and it will help people make the connection between the old and the new over time. So today I'm going through the rollout plan and what you can expect. First thing, I thought I might go through a bit of terminology that we can all use going forward. So this is known as our stacked logo. When you put it down onto one line, that's known as our secondary logo, and as you've heard, this is called our brand flag. So here's the plan. So as you've seen, here's new 240 Broadway. So we're making most of the existing signage, however we're putting a new light box up on the top corner. So I think these look pretty cool. Sleek, elegant, and definitely property brokers. Here's another branch. This is awesome Ashburton, so you can see the same themes coming through here. And here is Mighty Matamata. So all of the offices, we're going to have an illuminated brand flag that's going to sit on top, which will look awesome at night. And then we've got under veranda signage and some of the sort of facade signage. So we have 42 offices to get through. So the plan is to start with the head office for launch and then gradually roll them out one by one. So we're working towards creating a simple signage system that can be mass fabricated and rolled out easily. If we can crack this system, then we might be able to do certain offices of a similar makeup rather quickly. The more unique your office is, the longer it may take us to get to. Our signage is perhaps one of the most important things to get right. From city to country, our signs tell our story of success. So I'm going to show you a bunch of signs now, but don't worry if I go through them too quickly. When you leave today for morning tea, there's signs hanging up in the hallway, so you'll be able to check them out there. So here's a portrait sign. Here is a rural picture sign. Here is a normal photo sign. We've also got some new options which will allow you guys to promote yourself more prominently. And here is the sold sign with the lovely Alex holding it up. So you should notice some similarities between our old signs and the new signs. So our brand flag still prominently hugs the top left-hand corner. So if you drive past this sign at 100 k's an hour, our brand still features prominently. The signage is pretty tricky. You have a lot of competition for a limited amount of space, and you have to cater to the brand, the salesperson, and the vendor. I believe we've found a good balance with a highly visible sign that represents the property well and has great brand and agent exposure. So on the weekend of the 3rd of August, the plan is to get out and try and replace all our signs. So this will make a bold statement with the launch and the brand with a bang. So it's going to be all hands on deck. Your help will be needed here. After today, we're going to send out an order form for open home signs and flags, so you'll have these all ready for the launch. Print advertising. So the new print ads are clean, elegant, and modern. We've strived to declutter them where we can, hero the property photos, clean up the text and icons, and give you a bit more space to promote yourself. Here you can see full page and half page templates. So this style flows onto our window cards, DLEs, the appraisal, property brochures, and rural AM. So when it comes to all the items that we have built and managed through Property Suite, we have a two-tiered rollout approach. So where we're at now with Property Suite is the result of 8 years of development and customization of the system. So trying to fit a large amount of development work into a short amount of time comes with its challenges. So we've got the first stage and the fallback for our release on the 1st of August is to simply swap out our old logo with our new logo and the existing templates. So because the colours are still similar, this will allow us to rebrand everything easily overnight. However, we realise that the old templates are nowhere near as cool as the new ones. So in the lead up to the 1st of August, we're working with the good people at Property Suite to try and have as much of the new development ready to go for the launch. So it might not all be there for the get-go, but it will follow closely. You can expect a lot of new stuff to be launched after August, and not just stuff in the rebrand as well. We're also working on a lot of development that will help your business. So here's an example of a salesperson profile. Thank you, Katie. So we have 317 salespeople in our company and 50 people in training, and they're all going to be looking to update their marketing material. Rest assured that as a company we've taken on more design resource to help with this, but there's a certain amount of limitations on how quickly we can move. After today, we can start developing the new material and the new style, but it will be business as usual. Jobs will still take priority. The way we're going to approach this is to tackle one office at a time. So I know you're all a competitive bunch, so I thought I'd make this into a bit of a competition. Google reviews are important to everybody here. So each month we have over 100,000 people find us on Google. So the more positive reviews we have, the better chance for business, the better chance you have to distinguish yourself as an agent, and the higher up the list will feature on Google search results. So the offices with the most positive reviews will be the offices that we rebrand first. So at the moment, Tauranui is leading the charge with 14 reviews at 4.6 stars out of 5. So when it comes to personal marketing, if you want to look great in the new brand and stand out from the competition, it's all about the quality of your photography. I would recommend here that everybody have a professional photo shoot and get a range of photos that can be used for your marketing. It's well worth the investment. I mean, you guys sell this to your vendors every day. You wouldn't take a property to market without a professional photo shoot to make it look its best. So why wouldn't you apply that same logic to your own marketing? Here's some more examples. So for now, please go away and make a list of everything that you need to have changed. Make sure that all the content, the photos, the design ideas are all ready to go. So when we tell you it's your office's turn, the process is then as smooth as possible. So you've seen the business cards. So following the conference, we're going to be doing another business card order. Ada will send out all the details to your admins for you guys to proof. So you'll have new cards and labels ready to go for the launch. We thought it would be cool, however, if you could see yourself in the new brand. So when you go down for morning tea, when you go into the exhibitor area, there is a couple of tables there where you have a small quantity of your new business cards to be picked up. Get into it. So the website will be revitalised with the new brand, colours and fonts. So our website is an incredibly important marketing tool. Each month we have over 200,000 sessions. So once the brand is embedded in the market and everyone knows what we're about, the next big project we have on the list is to redevelop our entire site. So here's how we look on realestate.co, and hopefully people down the back can see that. But this is probably one of the most difficult spaces to have a logo because the size and the resolution is tiny, and you should be able to see there compared to our old logo, the new logo works much better. So all our standard marketing material will be updated in line with the brand books that you have in your bags today. And as these are ready, we'll send them out to the offices. So please continue to use the old stuff until the new stuff arrives. All the stationery has been printed and will be arriving in the offices in time for the launch. So you've heard John before, a brand's got to work at 110 by 110 pixels. So you may notice that certain media we are favouring the brand flag. So we want our brand flag to be like the Nike tick or the McDonald's golden arches. We want it to be instantly recognisable as property brokers. So for most companies this might be a bit of a challenge, but we're confident because of our vast media spend across our agents, our vendors and the brand that we'll be able to embed this relatively quickly. So to help people connect with the new brand as soon as possible, from the 1st of August we'll be launching a brand advertising campaign. The aim of this campaign is to educate the public that we've changed. We want to let people know we're still the people you can trust. We're still the same people that you feel right at home with. We've just updated our image. So you can expect to see ads running across print, editorial, radio, online, social media, and on-demand TV. In addition to this, we also have the home show campaign running at the same time. So last year, Property Brokers sold over 680 properties to buyers from Auckland and Wellington. This campaign aims to make sure our vendors are getting the best price for their property, and it positions Property Brokers as the people that go the extra mile to find the right buyer. It's also a great opportunity to show the big senses that we're the company you deal with when you leave the city behind. So with 2 large campaigns in the market, we are confident that we're going to make a splash come August. So we're super stoked to finally be able to stand up here and show you what's been going on. I hope you're all excited and enthusiastic about the new brand. Today we're giving you a bunch of stuff in your goodie bags that has the new brand on it. However, I'm going to have to ask you to keep a lid on it for another 5 weeks. Don't take your new branded shopping bags to the supermarkets. Please don't go to the gym with your new drink bottle. Leave your business cards in the drawer. And as Bill said, most importantly, please don't post anything on social media. So if you do, we will see it, and that's how social media works. So we want to launch to the public with a big bang, not a dribble. So everyone you show the new brand to only waters down the effect of the big launch. So wait until the 1st of August and then go bananas. Show everybody. So thanks, I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the conference. If you've got any questions, and I'm around today and tonight, come grab me at any stage. So next up, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Mark De Soma. So Mark is renowned as New Zealand's, one of New Zealand's leading brand strategists, having worked with companies such as Red Bull, BNZ and C Energy. We are incredibly lucky to have him working on the Property Brokers brand. So Property Brokers is a hugely successful brand. Today Mark is going to tell us what successful brands need to do to keep growing. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Hello, Property Brokers. How are you? Good. My name's Mark. Now, I spend my whole day thinking about brands. I think about brands, I think about what brands can do, I think about how brands can be great. I'm the guy that turns up the ads. I think about what companies can do and how they can make their brands better. And today I want to start with something that, well, it might be a bit controversial. The language is a little strong. But you'll get where I'm going with this, and I hope it'll become clear. So I've written about 600 posts on blogs around the world around branding, and I've come to this conclusion. My conclusion is this, and I want to share it with you. I say this with love. Okay? Customers are bastards. It's true, customers are bastards. I'm a customer. You're a customer. You're a customer. You, sir, are definitely a customer. We're all customers, and we're all bastards. Why are we bastards? We're bastards because we expect more, we're more demanding, we want, in the words of Freddie Mercury, we want it all, and we want it now. We're bastards, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Would we? Would we? Of course not. Now, so as I said, this is a little controversial. And people have said to me, I think you're being a bit strong here, Mark. And I said, no, I'm not really, because not only can I say it, but I can prove it. How many times have you thought to yourself, honestly, how many times have you thought to yourself, this wouldn't be a bad job if I didn't have to deal with, see? And how many times have you been on the phone with some vendor and you've thought to yourself, you are being a right little rosal trick. Customers are bastards. And in this golden age of bastardry, something is happening. The average age of a brand is declining, and it's declining fast. In 1958, if you had a brand in the S&P 500, so if you had a brand in the Standard & Poor's 500 in 1958, you could expect that brand to last 60 years. 60 years later, a brand can expect to be in the S&P 500 for 18 years. And 10 years from now, the analysts are saying, a brand will be in the S&P 500 for 10 years. So the holding ability of a brand is dying, and it's dying fast. This is climate change for brands. It means you can't set and forget a brand anymore, because the inherent staying power of a brand is declining. So you have to keep changing and refreshing and growing your brand, because if you don't, it will start to decline. A company that isn't pushing its boundaries is locked inside you, and I don't need to give you many examples for you to think about this. Kodak, Blockbuster, Motorola. What these brands did was they got locked into what they liked. They got locked into complacency. They got locked into thinking that what they had was enough, and it wasn't. If you're not a company pushing boundaries, you're a company confined by its boundaries. There's a guy called Christopher Zook, one of my favourite thinkers, and he says this, that you need to have a founder's spirit. But you can't just have a founder's spirit. You have to use and grow and move that founder's spirit. Because if you're not moving forward in the spirit that this company started when there were 5 people in it, you're not going to be a dynamic, moving, shifting company with 600 people in it. So keep that founder spirit, but keep it moving. And one of the things that's really hard when you're a successful brand is this thing I call the call of the peak. You know, it's easy when you're small. When you're small, you go up. Everything's up. You're moving up. You're moving on to the next thing. The call of the peak calls you up. What happens when you get to the top? When you get to the top, too many brands ring and defend. And when they defend, they get defensive. A guy called Jack Walsh had a really, really good phrase. He says, when you're number one in a market, pick a bigger market. I like the idea of, if you're number one in a market, find a bigger need. Go chase that. And you're doing that. You've started to do that already, and you'll do more of it, I'm sure. The companies that are most at risk are the ones that are successful. It's very easy to confuse upsurge with success. So many companies ride an organic wave of growth and go, we're succeeding. You're not succeeding. The market's succeeding for you and you're taking the ride. What successful companies do is they use those upsurges, but they also defy the downsurges. So as a company, think about the fact that right now you are at risk. What you need to do is find a way to make sure that you don't fall to that. Steve Jobs once said, Steve Jobs was asked, why did you change the iPod? Why did you change the iPod? He said, well, it was the biggest thing we'd ever done. It was the most successful product we'd ever had. I knew I had to change it immediately. Stagnation will kill you. And what really smart brands do, and what I want to talk about today, is you need to stay modest, keep your feet here, aim there, use your values to keep you going, and compete. Compete like you mean it. Compete like there's still more to gain, because there's always more. And if you're not going after it, someone else wakes up tomorrow morning to come after what you're working so hard to try and keep. So I want to start today by talking about 5 ways. 5 ways that powerful brands stay powerful. The first thing they do is that they are acutely self-aware. They understand what they stand for and how they express themselves. You think about a brand like Disney. What did Disney do last week? Disney fired the top-selling brand new show because Roseanne and Disney didn't align. Staying true to who you are and believing in that is critical. Knowing that and facing up to that is a real responsibility. The second thing brands do is they rely on fundamental truths and they make decisions based on principles. You heard today about the True Team Promise. There's a classic example. Brands set their own agendas. They set their own agendas and they grow at their pace, on their terms. A couple of years ago, I was in Seattle. I went to visit one of the gaming companies. I got talking to their storytelling team. So this is a gaming company, right? Their storylines are 15 years ahead of their product lines. 15 years ahead, they are thinking where their story is going. And they are rolling out product and putting out releases based on 15 years ahead. Always 15 years ahead. Great brands are highly responsive. They use their structure to evolve to the changing needs and demands of an audience. Lego could so easily have been killed. You're a toy company in a digital age. So what do? You line yourselves up with the biggest entertainment franchises in the world, and boom, you're back. Big time. And the other thing that brands do is they hold themselves accountable to clear and present goals. Most of you will know that Coke's line is refresh yourself. What you might not know is that Coke have an internal running strategy line. And their internal running strategy line is to put a glass of Coke within arm's reach of every thirsty person on the planet. You think about that for what that means for product. You think about what that means for distribution. You think about what that means for expansion. You think about what that means for diversification. You think about what that means for target. You think about what that means for goals. We will put a glass of Coke within arm's reach. I've got short arms. Of every thirsty person on the planet. The other thing that brands do is they look far and wide. They go looking for cues way beyond their own industry. and then they apply them. Nike did a really smart thing. Nike went looking for companies that were fast moving. And they looked at the tech industry and went, actually, there's some learnings from the tech industry that we could pull in. And Nike Plus was born. Nike saw that a company that was moving fast, an industry that was moving fast, probably had cues for an industry that was running fast. We're often told, aren't we, that you shouldn't be daunted by your competitors, and I agree with that. You shouldn't be daunted by them, but you shouldn't be scared to be inspired by them either. If you see a competitor who's doing something that you think is good, how do you put a PB interpretation on that? And when you see them doing something bad, how do you capitalise on that? No one is a slave to a competitor, but if you're not keeping your eyes on a competitor, chances are you're missing opportunities in the market. We misunderstand growth, and this happens a lot in sales. We think growth is just about top line. Growth isn't about top line, it's about proof. Growth is about the proof that we have done right by our customers, and the money is the proof that we have done what we said we would do and what they said they wanted for us. If you just make this about growth, you become a company that is obsessed with turning customers into the means and not into the end. You become a company that turns customers into, this is how I make my budget. Customers don't like that. No customer likes that. Who wants to be the means to someone else's end? Let's go to the movies. Favourite movie? Favourite Pixar movie? Who's with Little Mermaid? Thank you, sir. Who likes Beauty and the Beast? Oh, did anyone watch Aladdin? Who loves The Lion King? No. The interesting thing about Pixar was they had these 4 huge movies. They were massive movies and they did very well on them, and all of a sudden they stalled. And there was a great article in McKinsey, and this is what I want to refer to here. McKinsey ran a series of interviews with the guys at Pixar, and they said to them, you had 4 mega hits, and then you stalled. What did you learn, and what did you do? And I love this quote from Ed Catmull. Ed Catmull is the CEO of Pixar. And he said, success is not a template. Successful companies draw conclusions. The problem is they draw the wrong ones. They think they've found a template for success. But customers keep changing. Customers keep wanting more. And seeing the same thing again and again quickly goes from wonderful to boring. Brad Bird was the writer. And he had come across from The Simpsons, and one of the things that he said is, every brand should question its rules. The Simpsons only works because it's animated. You could never say that in live action. Well, Roseanne tried, and look what happened. But the thing is, as he said, when he did it, this was an animated show in prime time. And we hadn't had one of these for 30 years. And when they did it, it was, of course, a massive hit and continues to be to this day. Look for lateral. Look for lateral is about the idea that if you have a freak in your company, a true freak, a success of nature, you should look to them for what they can do that all the rest of you can learn from. The outliers can teach all of us a lot, because all of us tend to move towards orthodoxy. What outliers do is they teach us new and natural ways to think about how to do our business. So one of the things that Bird said was, I look for the people that no one else wants to talk to. Then I go and talk to them. Adrenaline is the chemical of change. The more successful you are, the more important it is to keep scaring yourselves. You scared yourselves today, right? $2 billion? Who's not scared? I'd be scared, but I'd be scared in a good way. 25% lift in sales, If that's not scaring you, you're probably in the wrong company. And lift your mood. Energy is everything. I've done a lot of work in cultures, trying to lift cultures, and the most difficult thing you can find in any culture is a sad, depressed group of individuals. Because what happens when people are sad and depressed? Passive-aggressive behaviour, talking behind the back, smoker's corner, all that stuff. We all know it, we've all been there. And to fix it, the Pixar team said, this is what you need to do. You need to be honest enough to litigate together. You need to be honest enough to get in a circle and have a conversation. Because smart companies are honest companies. Honest enough to give each other praise. And honest enough to give each other criticism. And resilient enough to understand that neither is meant badly. So, that's us. That's what we should be doing. Let's get back to those bastards, shall we? What do they want? What are they looking for from us? What can we do to help them? The first thing we can offer them is we can offer them relevance. Offer something people need in a form that best suits them and at a price that represents value for what they believe they receive. The power of now is something we are all working with, and we operate in an increasingly small window. It's about now. It's about what do I get now? And it's the company that can give me what I need now that is the one that is going to loom large for me. Did you see that great stat that said we have now got to the point where our attention span is smaller than goldfish? I think that's incredibly unfair on goldfish. But the power of now has two parts to it. Because what smart companies do is they keep changing what now is. This is us now. And this is us now. And this is us now. And the way we are now was not the way we were then. What smart companies keep doing is they keep changing. And nowhere is that better exemplified than in the technology industry. Do you know what the parts, who's got an Apple phone? Do you know what the parts in your Apple phone cost? The parts? About $200. Why are you paying $1,200 for something that costs $200 to make? I'll tell you why you're paying $1,200. You're paying $1,200 because the price of not having it is higher than the price of having it. And what technology companies have worked out really, really well is that with upgrades and apps and functions, they can take your whole life and put it here and charge you a nice sum to stay relevant. Have you heard of a company called Whole Foods? So Whole Foods started out 15 years ago as a very small company. Just a small company selling organic food. And they grew over time. And what they did very successfully in the American market was that they took fringe food mainstream. And they did what no one else had done at the time. They managed to put storying into food. And when they put storying into food, not only did they change how people saw food, but they changed the value of that food. So Whole Foods is known, if you're in the States, they refer to Whole Foods as whole celery, because that's how much you pay for the food. But then they ran into a problem. And the problem they ran into was that everyone else cottoned on to the fact that they too could say their apples were grown in a small orchard with lovely sun and gently whatever. Walmart started doing it. Kroger started doing it. Others started doing it. What were they going to do now? What were Whole Foods going to do now? Because now they were finding themselves in the very dilemma that those other companies I talked about earlier were going to do. What did they do? They got bought by Amazon. And suddenly they completely changed the scale of the game. Who knew that organic could go scale? Who knew you could take a fringe product and take it to something massive? When you think about relevance, the question is always this: now what? Now what? Because you can't just be relevant. You have to stay relevant. Second thought, availability. You are there when they need you, and you continue to be available to them in formats that suit how they like to work. They know they can rely on you. The power of proximity works in two ways. The first way it works is, as psychologists will tell you, we like people who are like us. When we meet people who are like us, we are instantly drawn to them. We feel that we've met someone who speaks our same language, thinks the same way as we do, may dress the same way as we do. And in many ways, being a nationally provincial company is about exactly this idea. The fact that you talk to people in the provinces in ways that they understand. And you look and feel like them, like one of them. But the second idea about this is also that not only do you look and feel like them, but you also talk like them. You talk to them in ways that they understand and in ways that make sense. They don't get city slicker spiel. They get conversation, one-to-one, the way I understand. And these four ways of communicating are really interesting because different people communicate in very, very different ways. And if you think about your customer groups and how you talk to them, I'm sure all of you can say, there are times when I am throwing numbers. And there are times when I'm waving arms. And what smart companies do is that, and particularly smart salespeople do, is they have that ability to connect one-on-one and talk to me in my language. If you look at a company like Amazon, they do this so smart. Because on the one hand, they give you all the big stuff, and on the other hand, they give you all the little stuff. And they pull them all together in a really, really clever way. So, you're going to give me massive range, and you're going to give me 24/7 access, and you're going to tell me what I can find it anywhere, and you're going to give me recommendations. But then you're going to give me free shipping. And you're going to make it as frictionless as possible for me to buy. Amazon works because Amazon is available. They talk to me, they talk in your language, and they talk to you in the way that you most want to be communicated with. Now compare that to most insurance companies. How does your insurance company talk to you? They talk to you in legalese. They talk to you about doubt. They talk to you in legal mire and lots of instructions. And you and I, we all know that when you get a letter from the insurance company, it's only going to be one of two things, isn't it? They'll either deny your claim or they'll put your premium up. Being available is less important than feeling available. It's how people feel about how we are around them that matters. That's what we need to be thinking about. The third idea, in this age of privacy concerns and fake everything, you will act in their best interests and they can trust you to deliver on that, stand by what you are selling and do right by them. Brands are all about promises and proof. As John said earlier, it is all about authenticity. Some global research on this is really interesting. 87% of global consumers rank authenticity above innovation and above product uniqueness. So you can show me something new, you can keep giving me new stuff, but what I really want to know is, did you do what you said you were going to do? Did you do what you promised me you would? You know, in the words of The Godfather, did you make me an offer I could not refuse? And the more successful a brand becomes, the harder it is for them to tell the truth. Because the more they feel that there is more to be had from not telling the truth. The problem is, with social media, everyone sees right through that. Right through that. Your opportunity as a brand, your opportunity every day is to be the truth stick. To be the benchmark for truth that everyone says that is the standard. Patagonia, which is an environmentally conscious clothing company, put out a huge ad that said, "Don't buy our shirt." Don't buy our shirt. Why would an environmentally conscious clothing company put out a message that said, "Don't buy our shirt"? Because in the copy it said, if you already have a shirt, one of our shirts, that's good enough, you don't need to buy another one. Buy it when you're ready. Don't just buy it because everyone else is buying it. That takes one heck of a lot of gumption, doesn't it? To be that truthful about why you are in business. Think about what Facebook did. Facebook didn't lie. They didn't lie, and yet people felt deceived. What you don't say is as important as what you do. Exclusivity. You represent access to something that is not readily available to them elsewhere. They believe that the best way for them to get what they are looking for is via you, and they make the decision to go with you and to come back with you at the direct expense of a competitor. Have any of you read the book Trusted Advisor? If you haven't, you should. It's a fantastic read on how to become a trusted advisor. But I think these days we need to go further. I think we need to become exclusive advisors. I think we need to become the people that people come to when they want advice that they don't believe they can get from anywhere else. We're all in the content business now. Every single one of us is. Well, after we launch. Netflix changed. If you think about a company like Netflix, the first thing Netflix did was they changed how we watch. Right? So they took us from single programs to binge. That's the first thing they did. Then the second thing they did was they changed what we watch. They introduced original programming. And finally, they changed why we watch. Because they introduced a social media element into what they do that had everyone going, "What are you watching on Netflix? I'm watching this. Are you watching that? Have you seen that series yet? It's really good. You haven't seen it? You have to see that. It's really good." And the Netflix strategy is something I think we can all learn from. Understand your audience as a whole. Who, how, what, and when. Don't cater to the over-panded. There are plenty of people who can watch mainstream TV. Don't go after them, not if you're Netflix. Go after the people who want to pay for the subscription and value it. Think of your product as proof of your brand. You're only as good as what you sell. So that means some things you don't want to sell. Because there are some things you won't show if you're Netflix. They're just not good enough. Control your viewing platform, insist on experience, and stay true to what you are known for. In a world where everyone was starting to go live streaming, what Netflix said was, we will always be on demand. Fifth idea, sizzle. Be interesting or be dismissed. In a world filled with claims and distractions, smart brands package themselves in smart ways. And that's because our eyes have changed. We no longer see things the way we used to. We are much more sophisticated in our visual taking. And that's why you have to keep changing your visual vocab. That's why you have to look smart, because you won't be seen as a smart company if you're not looking smart. Identity has become viewpoint, and viewpoint has become identity. And you think about a brand like GoPro or Nike or Red Bull, the optics of what they do are as important as what they sell. Relevance, availability, truth, exclusivity, sizzle, rates. Every one of us needs to be thinking about those 5 things. Because when we think about those 5 things, when we deliver on those 5 things, we do the most important thing of all. We mean more. We mean more in our market. We mean more growth. We mean more against our competitors. and we mean more to ourselves. Hope you've enjoyed this. I'm hoping you're having a great day. It's lovely to see the brand finally rolled after all this hard work. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's quite a few things we've got to remember in order to keep our brand alive for the next 18 years. I really don't want to be having a conversation with Tim about spending more money on a brand refresh in only 10 years. Okay, thank you very much, Jono, Tony and Mark. I just want to give a special acknowledgement to Tony and Cameron and the marketing team. They've done a phenomenal job over the last few months. Had to keep it all under the radar. Had to keep the day-to-day business going as well, and they've worked incredibly well with the voice team, and I think we've seen some great results today. Thank you.